if you get ready and fucking you're done listening to me jabber. Always text me too. You're alive. Fucking, what do I need next in my life? Oh, I need to put my beer with this. I need to do.
So hard to watch games with that beer on.
So Brit. Life.
Biggest word I've ever said.
So Brit, I have to tell you something about who you are as a person. And the reason I'm telling it to you right now is not because I feel this particularly about you.
Especially right now.
It's actually because Sarah probably does. Because I know I feel it about Stacy. And you and Stacy got a lot in common. Not the deceit and the deceptive whore thing. That's obviously, let's exclude that characteristic. But it's you both are very avoidant. You have avoidant personality types. Bo as well. And when you're passive about this, when you let it go, when you don't tell her what's wrong, or that something's wrong, or and let's even just take her out of the equation, enter X fucking significant other, not like X, but like the X variable. If you are the avoidant partner, and so Y will be avoidant, and X will be, because like, and this is good for me, because why the fuck are you avoidant? I don't get it, because I'm not avoidant. I'd be X in this particular situation. But once again, this is why it's good as an equation, because then we can just abstract, right? No getting mixed up or anything on that. So when you're being avoidant, it's because, and when I say avoidant, I mean, passive aggressive might be a better word, because that instills that it's an action as opposed to labeling it as a behavior that you are or something. So it's more like a thing that we do. It's an action. And being passive aggressive to our significant other, it takes the form of basically just not telling them when you're dissatisfied or when you don't like something. And there's an amount of that like just being fucking social human beings, we have to, like, there's a little bit of us we gotta put under the fucking service before like we can talk to another person. And that is, an avoidant personality would be labeled as such because the tendency for them to over-exaggerate that is high. If we're looking at it from a probabilistic standpoint, or statistic, if everybody has a baseball card and had stats like that, so being avoidant tends to happen because people hurt you in your past, or you learn to not rely on your parents, or it all has to come back to like how your caretakers responded to your first problems, if that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of.
That's how we're going to treat our partners. So, like, you are always going to find some wounded bitch that needs help because you took care of your mom most of the time growing up. Took care of you wore the pants in the family, you know, because your dad didn't have the balls to. So, in that sense, you were a man too quickly. and that's why you're. And I think Bo kind of had similar. And the thing is if you have to become a man too quickly, and obviously I don't have this problem, so this is like a woman speaking about what it's like to have an erection. But I assume she understands what the erection can do, so that I'm trying to. I don't know what it's like to feel like that, but I do see the results in the world. And I gotta say that it's hard when you're an honest person, when you're trying to honestly be honest, and you're dealing with an avoidant person, because the avoidant person doesn't believe that that anyone's capable of honesty, or to the degree that they're cynical about how honest another person can or can't be. They distance themselves, if that makes sense. Instead of trying to explain the nuance of what you're feeling to anyone, it's so much easier for you to just be like, why should I worry about
put up with
this
this shit, right?
And that is a great way to deal with the present. And I say that full well saying it is not a great way to deal with anything. But it does solve the immediacy of what you're doing. And that is simpler. It's a great strategy if you're trying to be operational. Like if you're being a very military-minded person, like get the thing done, who cares about what's going on in the rest of your life. But here's the problem from a psychological standpoint. So like that's a great skill to have. It makes people very useful. It makes you useful. It makes you able to turn yourself into something useful. And that's an absolutely a necessitative part of being a human being. But honesty is when we learn that, like, so like that's the self-denying humanistic characteristic. It's the part of us that's ashamed that we don't have full cognitive control over every function of our body. However, though we have some sort of despair inside of us about whether or not we're gonna be able to be heard or felt, understood, I guess is the best word. It's very easy to assume that everyone's out to hurt us. It's very hard to open yourself to trust someone. And I have a great example, because my life right now is, I'm living this. For once, I am not just spitting philosophy, I'm not living. I'm living this shit day to day, and it gets me through my day. Like, the reason I'm not hanging from my fucking ceiling right now is because I fucking live these virtues right now. And I actually see the pitfall that I would be falling off of. I'm you know, like when you're on the high rise or you're on the fucking lift, and like if I take a step that way, I'm off. And so many people walk blind to those things, but like I see it, and I'm not scared because I know where I'm standing. And so I just had the trust in me. And it's not like it wasn't already broken, but like it's become very real. It's become very tangible now in a way that it wasn't before. And
very tangible.
Because of that,
like an orangutan. Come on, Alex, remember it. But I know he doesn't, because I already watched this.
I'm trying to seem thoughtful, but I'm honestly just fucking losing it.
I think I get it back, though.
It's really meaningful. Kind of sad about it. Let me drink for a second.
Drink,
And this is actually,
think.
I'm trying to avoid looking at what my cognition was just doing right there. And like if I was honest with myself, like why did I just feel that? Now that's honest to God introspection. And it's only from a place where you can direct at yourself such honesty